Hello, welcome back to our grammar lesson. Previously, we discussed all about shifts in verbs, which are voice and tense, and same also with shifts in pronouns, which are person and number. Now, we are going to combine all the shifts and figure out what are the inconsistencies in the following sentences. Are you ready? Analyze well, check the verbs and pronouns, and tell me the shifts. Now, so inconsistencies in writing. Let's start. For number 1, can you underline the verbs? Yes, we have march. What else? We have felt. We also have maybe as your linking verb. How about the pronouns? We have the pronoun you, and what is the antecedent? Soldiers. Now, are they consistent or not? Yes, you are correct. They are not consistent. Now, March past tense, felt past tense, may is present tense. You is second person, and the antecedent soldiers is actually third person. Now, therefore, there is a shift in person and tense. Now, how are we going to revise that? Now, we are going to change you to they, soldiers, third person, they, third person, and then may will be changed to might, so it will become past tense, so everything is consistent. How about for number 2? What are the verbs here? We have explains, present tense, asked, past tense. Now, is there any inconsistency? Yes, you are correct. Past tense, rather asked, past tense, explains, present tense. Are there any pronouns? None. Now, therefore, there is only a shift, there is a pronoun, by the way. We have here them. What is the antecedent of them? You are correct. The antecedent is actually instructor. Are they consistent or do they agree with one another? Instructor, singular, them is plural. So there is a shift in, let's check. It's a shift in number and at the same time, shift in tense. Explains present tense, asked is past tense. Now, therefore, how are we going to revise that? Change explains to explained. Therefore, you have there the same verb, explained and asked, both in the past tense. Or you can also change asked, explains will be retained, asked will be changed to asked class. Take note that you choose whether present tense or past tense. Now, as long as there is no time marker and at the same time, they're all consistent. How about here for the pronoun? Them is plural while instructor is singular, therefore change it to him. Next, number 3. Let us identify or analyze whether the sentences have shifts. Okay, number 3, we have here, some people like bananas, but strawberries are preferred by others. You have there, you are correct, you have there shift in voice and tense. For shift in voice and tense, you have here like as your verb, and we have are preferred, which is voice, passive voice rather. Again, class, it means for number 3, we only have shift in voice. Now, let's check. The verb is like, are preferred. Now, like, present tense, are preferred also present tense. So they are, it's just that it's present passive. So there's no shift in tense. For number, how about voice? Like active, are preferred is actually passive. That is why there is a shift in, you are correct. There is a shift in voice. How are we going to revise? Now, if you notice, class, our sentence here, second sentence, the second clause, strawberries are preferred by others. That is only the sentence which is passive. So what are we going to do? Copy the first sentence. Some people like bananas, but others prefer strawberries. So take note of the revision. Next sentence. How about sentence number 4? Can you check? Now let's start with the verb. Should register, get. Get present tense. Should register is also, class, take note, is also correct to use it in the present tense. So there's nothing wrong with the verb here. Now, if you check the verbs, it's not in its past, they are not in their past participle form. So take note that passive voice verbs are always expressed in past participle after or before it is actually a linking verb. So here, should register, get are both active. Now, what is wrong? How about the pronoun? We have here the pronoun you, and the antecedent is actually everyone. Everyone, third person, you, second person. So what is the shift? Now, the shift here is shift in person. You, plural, everyone, not only, take note, class, you, everyone is singular. You can also be singular. So there's no shift in number. Now, everyone, third person, you is actually a second person. That is why there is only a shift in person. How are we going to revise it? Everyone should register early to ensure he or she take note. Make sure to add S to your verb because he or she is singular, the subject. So we need to add S here. Same also with once. Now, class, you can also change everyone into you. You should register early to ensure you get the schedule you want. It can also be, class, as long as the pronouns are and the verbs are all consistent. Now, and it does not commit any grammar error. Now, for number 5, what is your verb here? Our verb here is treated and are. Is there any shift? How about pronoun? We have the pronoun they. What is the antecedent? Customer. Customer, singular. They, plural. So, different. Therefore, there is a shift in number. How about with our verb? This is present tense, is treated. This is also present tense. So there is no shift in tense. So there is a shift in number. Now, customer, class, third person, they is also third person. Now, my question is there a shift in voice? None, class. Well, here we have the verb are, which is a linking verb. And here we have the passive voice. In short, the another verb doesn't have a voice because it's linking verb. It's okay to use passive here. By the way, our next verb is only a linking verb. Now, I'm not saying that we cannot really use passive voice, class. It is necessary to use passive voice. It's just that if you have 2 action verbs, make sure these 2 action verbs are of the same voice. But here, linking verb, remember, is not an action verb. So this is okay. Now again, what is the shift? Shift in person only. There is no shift in verb, but only in pronoun. Now, how are we going to revise the sentence? So, they refers to customer, singular, they plural, so change they into he or she. Understood? Next, we have here number 6. Okay, let's get back to number 6. The characters in the novel are average people. So let's check the verbs. We have here are, and we have also had, which are our verbs here. How about the pronouns? We have they. What is the antecedent of they? Characters. You are correct. Do they agree with one another? Are they consistent? No. What is that? So there is a shift in tense. They, plural, characters, plural. So there is no shift in number because both are in the plural form. So the pronoun, plural, the noun being replaced by that pronoun is also plural. So nothing wrong with our pronouns. Now are, present tense, had, past tense. Therefore, there is a shift in tense, not voice. Are is a linking verb, had is an action verb, so therefore they are of different form. Therefore, there is no shift in voice. So how are we going to do to revise it? We change had to have. The characters in the novel are average people, but they have more than average problems. Clear? Let's go to number 6. About noon, the sky darkened, a breeze sprang up, and a low rumble announces the approaching storm. Is there any shift in pronoun? Let's check. What are the pronouns here? None. Therefore, there is no shift in number, and there's no shift in person. Let's just check your verb. Okay, let's check the verbs. What are the verbs here? We have darkened, sprung up, and then announces. If you notice, all the verbs are in a form of one word. Therefore, there is no shift in voice because voices of verbs in the passive form are introduced by helping verbs or what we call be verbs. Now, darkened, past tense, sprung up, past tense also, announces is present tense. Therefore, there is a shift in tense, combination of two tenses. So, the shift here is tense. So, how do we revise it? Change announces to announced.